conversation.
Policy until policy's overridden. So, fire and highway signs. So I looked at this, and we are currently over budget for signage. I know that we've also got 3 more bills that came in this week. So, yeah. So there's at least $200 more signs.
Am I correct in assuming that since everybody is theoretically paying more attention to it, that the signs are slowing down or something? They have, and plus, I do believe this, using the metal posts, and if they're looking at it twice before they're gonna spend some time, I truly do. And what bothers me, and this does have to do with saving money, is these posts that they're providing for the county. I mean, since I've been in office, one is rotted right off. Well, what the hell, you might as well spend the extra $15, $20, whatever it is, and put metal in it. Well, the county should replace those in their product, or whatever, no, you don't pay for it. No, I get that, you paid for that. But it's like with any other supplier, if they furnish a shoddy material, you should have to replace it. I agree with you, but they're not going now, right, Josh?
It depends on the amount of rain, everything.
What's that?
It depends on the amount of rain there is, as far as wood rotting.
This isn't treated wood? Anyway, it's just making good sense, especially when I can grab somebody in a place, sign goes down, I can go up there with a metal post, put it in myself, same thing. That's what I'm doing now.
So highway and street maintenance for the town. Looking at things, we'll talk about again at some point. July, we should over this. There's a couple of trees they're accounted for. There's a couple of trees that potentially should go in emergency management. I just don't know if that's the title of the invoice or if that's actually what they did. Split between 2 things and the invoice came across as both. Yeah. So, what I did not see in here was the most, it might just be a tiny thing, is the most recent rust bills for the work. South Shore Drive and Marshall. Go through this again, kind of an invoice by invoice detail, but from the perspective, this may end up being $5 grand in here. That's what we get an estimate from the rest of those shoulder and so water areas. Marsh and social red. The work is done. Just doing equal as chasing where they are. So we're down to
Just ask them.
so kind of to get us to the point, next step.
I have a question on tax.
we spent $53,000 in heat. Estimated total for this year is gonna be 34. We spent 53,000 in 24, why was our budget only 15,000 for this year?
Because the winter patching that they did, we didn't know about until after the budget was approved. They went out in November and patched before the winter time.
Can you tell us?
Well, they told us, but when we passed the budget on the 13th of November, we didn't have the invoice from them.
There was no patching in 23.
There was no account called patching in 23. It was part of this big
Right.
308 number. I mean, this is the crux of, aside from going back 3 years and pulling out 47 invoices and then coding them all and putting them in here, we just moved forward from 23 to make these accounts.
And the fact that it's gonna be 35,000 this year, we only want 25,000 for this year.
Sealed 8 miles of road, hopefully that opens up enough that we can cut some of that down.
Not just free, just asking. And I'm still getting people counting money.
So, kind of down to the last of a handful of estimates through year end. Again, this is going to put us, this number up here, 130 grand in the black. Is with those estimates, if we don't spend more money on tree service, if we don't spend any additional emergency management, and all the rest of our projections come out modestly close to what we've got estimated.
If we don't spend anything.
Correct.
So like 130 all carries over, and that reduces the 194 to 64?
Potentially. So, this big pink number in the middle here. Sorry, my insert dot back before.
I mean, just for math purposes, just based on the.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what it's on.
As presented, yes. Okay. So, what we have not yet done, we have authorized, if you look at the formula bar up at the top, we've authorized the $84,000 drop from the line of credit. We've authorized $105,000 new note for paving Tamarack Road. Those two numbers are figured into this 189.
That's basically those two numbers.
It is.
It is
I
Not
put-
basically.
Yeah, it is what it's done.
I put the math in there on purpose, kind of like I did last year, okay? So if we were to say we're not going to draw the 84 grand today, maybe December 15th if it comes down to it, okay, so I'm taking it back out. If we just borrow for Tamarack, that puts us at a $6,000 buffer for things like tree service,
So,
emergency management.
right, that's a decision
Yes.
point we have to make. What about the ones that are out of our hands? Bad winter, lots of snow. That brings that number down too, because it's higher than what we have potentially estimated.
So currently for ice and snow, we got 50 grand, which is with the math, 5 storms at 10 grand each. That's a ballpark estimate. Some of them are 7, some of them are 14, right? So placeholder, we can easily make this and we can say we want to be conservative and put in 7 snowfalls. That number at the top just gets smaller. Right, we can say we're going to spend the remaining part of our budget for trees, and we're going to spend $22,000 in trees. Put us right at the limit of our budget. That number gets smaller again. We can say whatever. I mean, if we say we're going to spend more on emergency management, then obviously we should also increase 2026 that same amount. So it's kind of a net.
So those ones, do we wait until the last meeting or two to actually put an estimate in there?
It's kind of what we did last year. Is the closer we got through
The more
October.
we know.
Yeah, the closer, like if it snows the second week of October, we maybe want to make it 7 instead of 5. If it doesn't snow and it's supposed to be 30 degrees, then and that's kind of what we did in
stick a number in there and take it out. Or forget it.
Correct.
Oh, I agree with that.
So,
Hopefully they take it off.
I did. We're back to 11:30. So the question somewhat becomes a couple of different things, because again, the conservative way to do this would be to say, even though we authorized the draw, we haven't paid
Are you talking about?
$4,000.
That's correct.
Okay. So, authorized it that if it hits the fan tomorrow, you can draw the money. We've also authorized the 105. If you take the 84 back,
So the bank and everything has approved 105.
or the end. So this is the buffer time of cash flow versus budget on payment. So if we just say for the time being that if everything pans out, it doesn't snow and trees don't fall over, that maybe we don't need the 84 grand by the end of the year. So I'm just,
And the 26 proposed 140, that's just based on, is it based on, go ahead and drawing both of those, and that's what our debt service are being used to, or what is that 139.87?
you put that in there to try to balance budgets during the meeting last time. So realistically, that number is going to be 0. Right? We started playing games with the levy limit, fire fees, all of the stuff along with that.
The one on the 32-ish correct, and the 45. Is that in here?
That is, should be in your highway and bridge, yes. 31 to 46. If that comes in before the end of December,
That's the grant.
yes.
You expect it to pay for it.
Hopefully, yes. I have to get, maybe Michelle can help me with this. I have to get the county a copy of meeting minutes where we approve moving forward with Palmyra Road. It's probably just as easy to look up in Word on an agenda than anything else that I've got as far as.
Remember approximately numbers? That's this.
Off the top of my head. No, we did, so we did the state municipal financial agreement in July of, I think it was July of 24. I wanna say that we approved it in November before that. I wanna say it's like November of 23.
I know it's kind of up to date, but I started the document to search everything you guys have done. So we have that done.
That's one of the pieces they need to do and submit to the state, like the town board,
To get our money,
to get the reimbursement. Yes. Yeah. They've got our invoices, they've got the payment, they've got the order of the application, all the rest of the stuff. And I had Sean, like, the project, the SMFA, the whatever, and you said the project. So I know about four different milestones of that, and various different approvals for it.
What else?
So,
Can you, what are we? If we got something in here to fix the grant, we have anything in the budget to fix it.
theoretically, that's gonna be a net 0, because we're paying $100 a month for internet service, and that's what it is to respect. For
So it's
faster.
proving that it's just changing the wire.
Correct. Gotta do a little bit of IT jumping on that, because the posted email, the century thing, just right speed, blah, blah, blah. But we're paying $100 a month static IP address, which I don't think we need an additional phone lines, but realistically, that's more coordination and operation change. Built-in savings for efficiency, if that makes sense. So, we can generally leave it at that.
Well, going back for the proceeds from debt, wouldn't we want to put whatever the amount is in there? For 26?
So proceeds from debt would be as if we took out debt service in 26.
Oh,
At
right,
this
so
point, we don't have
we
an
don't know.
expense.
We may be taking it out this year now, as opposed to this year.
Yes. Yeah. And realistically, if we want to make this budget zero at the moment, we would have to put in $334,014 in debt service. Make that.
Well, when, based on these numbers, we'll have to be 334,14 minus 36.
Yeah, well, yes. If we were going to apply, and this comes down to just the philosophy of it, right? If we've got 90 grand in our budget now, and we're gonna apply 46,000 just into fund balance, to come up to 136, our fund balance would then be 136 of the technically 250 that the resolution for fund balance policy says it should be. So we can do it. Not lots of, there's a handful, a couple of different options.
So what are the big ones we're waiting, other than the ones that are out of our control? To fill in.
Well, the next big decision is going to be regarding this red guy.
I don't mean, I know until the last potential meeting.
Right? And worse, so I think.
It's just 334.
I know. If you look at what I did, starting the meeting, I actually put in fund balance. This is not an account that the grant purposes like this. This is just like if we put in 58 grand, or I thought this number on top was when we started. We filled in additional expenses throughout the rest of this year while we were doing this. That makes sense. So that number actually went down by 12 grand for the additional estimated things we can put in this calendar meeting.
We left 334 in there.
We'll see. So, but I think I have to go back and just, we know that the tax is not going to be 673, so this is going to change. But I don't have another information. And with that, 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock. Number 2, executive session. The discussion requires a closed session because it involves confidential strategy related to contract negotiations and open discussion. It could adversely affect the town's position. Entering into closed session under this exemption is necessary to preserve negotiation strategy. Adjourn to closed session, not to reconvene pursuant to chapter 19.85, paragraph 1, paragraph E of the Wisconsin Statutes, deliberating or negotiating the purchase purchasing of public property, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Items to be discussed, negotiation of town fire /EMS contract. I need a motion on this, and we'll have to do a roll call vote.
Make a motion to go to closed session.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Kowalski,
Aye.
Martins, Sawyer.
Aye. Well, sir, did you bring this contract?
Okay.
Done.